What's up, man? Depending on a person's head, the way it's shaped, you can have a perfect blend on someone's head. But if their head is more oblong, to give them a high ball fade isn't always the best look. Even though your fade as the barber, you did your job correctly. But where you might have failed to do is placing it correctly. I only use 2 clippers. My walls and my liners, my Andy liners. That's all I use. I take out lines, I fade with them, and you can also, I have a baller, okay? Sometimes I go with this just to shape some things up. Sometimes I stick with this here. So I'm gonna get into all of that as we go on. But first, this gentleman here, he just want a light fade. Now, I can show you more if it was on the ball fade, but this is a light fade. I start, speaking of placement of the haircut, I'm gonna start here, the back of his head, to here. He has a nice shaped head for this particular placement on his haircut. So I try to make all my haircuts last about 15 to 20 minutes on just a no shave, just a regular haircut. If you start going over that, you're cutting into your money. I normally try to cut 3 to 4 heads in an hour. So you want your money to stay up there. So we're gonna start, we're gonna go right in. What I try to do, I try to cut and fade half a head first. That's what I do. I don't cut all the way around a person's head. You know, I mean, it just, everybody's different. You pick your preferences, whatever you wanna do. You know, but me, I don't do that. I stop. Open it up, go to the next level. Remember, speed is everything. I'm gonna show you the shortcuts that can make you successful as being a barber, as well as keeping your money up, because that's the most important thing. Is when I was first starting out, you know, everybody tend to take a while to cut hair, and that's only because a person's kind of scared. You know, you're not comfortable with what you're doing. But getting comfortable is everything. And I've been cutting professionally over 20 years now, so I'm quite comfortable in any position on the head. You know, so. We're gonna go here, and you see the bottom line is already taken out of there. I faded that out. All right, now I'm gonna go with my other guard here. Like I said, I use 2 guards. These are the 2 guards I use 99% of the time right here. That's a 1, and in this style, you got a 0. Now what I do, did you want it to cut off the top or not?
Yeah, wavelength.
You want the top wavelength. Perfect. A lot of times, go on and cut that top down after you put in your initial line. Here's why. If you don't, it may not match your blend, your fade. Then you got to go back and redo some stuff. So here's what I'm talking about. When you don't want a person's hair cut too low, if you go over it first with a guard and you come back over it again with a lower guard, it won't cut it as low. Always remember that. And here I'm going to prove it to you. If you look at his head, you can see some thinning area through here, through there. It's thick through there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 1 on there, and I'm going to open it up, right? But that's not what we're going to finish it with. I'm going to open it up. We're going to come right down the side, right on the top. You see, we're just taking just a little bit off, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And why? I'm going to show you. And a lot of times, I don't even use a comb much. Why? I use the actual guard and clipper as my comb. I leave a lot of things disturbed when I'm fading. I'm going to show you that too. We're going to get in there. I leave the hair disturbed and use that to my advantage. This is how you make a haircut go from 35, 40 minutes to 20 and 15 minutes. Even 6 minutes. I cut haircuts in 6 minutes all the time. Especially ball fades and stuff like that. Now, I just took my adjuster and I came down with it. Remember, he wants it wavelength. I, as the barber, want him to still have some darkness up top with a wave pattern. So remember, I cut his hair down with it open. Remember that? Now I'm going to go all the way closed for his wave length, his wave pattern. And it's not going to take that much off because I've already knocked and skimmed just a little bit off. Because see, these guards are designed to get underneath the hair. That's what these guards are for. So if you knock down just a little bit, they can't dig as deep, if that makes sense to you. And I'm sure it does. So here we go. See, just barely taking off the top right here. Now, here's what I'm going to do to prove my point to you. I'm going to take him and I'm going to go right here on this side just so you guys can see what I mean. I'm going to leave it low as it can go. Hate to be a little guinea pig right here, but I got to show the people. Now, you're going to notice it's going to cut it down just a little bit lower than the other side. Remember, I cut just slightly with the guard open, then I came back with it closed. And watch the difference in how it digs in and goes lower here. You hear that? And you see that. Look at all that hair down there. See, what I do sometimes too, to get a lower, slightly lower, you see I'm going like this. I'm cutting a straight line. If you want that hair to be slightly lower, sometimes I just twist my clipper to the left or the right. You hear how it's cut. Now remember, I just cut this hair as low as it can go like this. Then I just take it now, I twist it to the side. And you hear how it's coming off. It's all about angles, people. And when you understand angles in cutting hair, that makes cutting hair that much easier, faster, because I don't have to pop off different guards and use different guards for different lengths of the hair. I just use my clipper and I use angles. Now, with the fade, I'm going to show you how the reason why I don't use my comb a lot and take guards off. So we want to fade this here now. I'm going up into it using the same guard. I ain't even took the guard off. We're going to keep it dark. He wants it dark. So it's time to use a guard. We're going to go up with it against the grain, cut it as low as we can. Now watch this, people. See that? I'm going to take my guard and see how much I can get off like this. I didn't comb that down. You don't have to. This is how you shave off minutes. I'm using, and you hear it's cutting at the same time. You hear that? It's cutting. That's what you want. You got to fade it anyway. So you might as well fade it down, and it's fading by itself naturally. Now guess what? Now that I got that there, I'm going to take the same guard, same clipper that I just had closed, and now I cut it down. Now I'm going to move up to the darker spot, but I'm going to open it. And now I'm only using the corner to tease. I'm only using these 3 teeth right here. And all we're doing is coming up in there and we're going to tease the hair. That's it. That's it. We ain't going in there really cutting nothing. We just teasing it. We want to get that up out of there. And I don't want to go too far up in there. And remember, I use 2 guards. You get what you can out of the guard that you're using. Get the most out of that one guard before switching and popping on another guard. That's what you do. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to show you right now. We're going to raise him up here just a little bit. And he has a strong wave pattern in his hair. And a lot of barbers know fading people with wave patterns can sometimes be problematic because you have to fade into those deep waves. And sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, a lot of times it don't come out right. So now, pretty much faded in there. Got what I'm looking for. I'm going back with the corner of my clippers into that fade. That's what I'm doing. And then sometimes, when you got it like that, you just test the water. I'm gonna close it just a little bit, cut down on it just a little bit more, see where he at. Now, if you really want to see what it's looking like and what's going on, guess what? Go to your lines. Now, when I line from middle to outside. I move from right to left like this here, but I'm going with the left to right motion. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. Look at this. Right to left, right to left. I'm going right to left while going left to right with my liners. See what I'm saying? So I do this here. Just roll it. That's all you're going to do is roll it. And I'm going to tell you, brace it. Brace it. Find something that's comfortable for you. And here's what I'm speaking about accuracy. Pull that skin back. Right, your hand already there. I'm going to just tug at it. Just a smidgen. Just tug at it. Accuracy. I'm not going back no further than that. Try to keep that person as natural as possible. No hair fibers, no sprays, no nothing. And guess what? My liners and stuff ain't even set that well. I use old guards, old blades and stuff. I prefer them, like this one is chipped. You can see it, it's chipped. I use it. I use that chip to my advantage. Pick your spot on the side. Don't just take his line way up there. Pick a spot and put that nice hook in that thing. And go from there. Now I know we're in Corona right now, but I'm going to take that off for you for right now. Now when I get to the side here, so you can get in there and see that. I use this finger that I was using the brace here. I use this finger and pull the skin tight. You see that pulling the skin tight? And I pick me a spot. And when you let that skin go, you're going to see. You see the line. Now go up here. I do the same thing. And as you see, my liners ain't on hit. They not that sharp. They not that good. They not hitting it all that strong. Why? Because I'm going to use a razor. So what's the point in getting up there and burning your customer up with your clippers, leaving... Some barbers leave scab marks, burn marks on people. You know, what's the point in all that? If you're going to come back and razor him, so I go in there and just give myself a guideline. Ain't no sense in hurting your customer. The man love you. He coming to you. So obviously he loves you. And show the man some love back. Don't just be burning him up. And that's what I try to do. So now I'm down here in the back of his neck. Most people sensitive back here, so you got to watch it. Be careful, you know. He's not of a sensitive nature. But you go down here and you just clean up the neck. That's all you're doing. It ain't rocket scientist, but it's a learning curve. Anybody can learn it after a little while, but you know, some people are natural with things like cutting hair, playing basketball, being a doctor, speaking, being an oratorical speaker. Everybody's got different talents, you know. And barbers, we the same way. Everybody's different. I seem to have a little advantage at this because I draw and I paint when I came up. You know, I was an artist, so, you know, cutting hair was something I always did as a kid. I had 3 brothers, and we used to practice on each other. So I had a lifetime of practicing before I became a professional barber. So now, you see, that's one side of the haircut. Now I'm going to spin him around. But before I do that, I'm going to look at it myself in this mirror. Because I don't want to brag and be bragging up on the wrong thing. If you would notice the fade, look at that. All the way around. And you see, I only got half his head cut. But I don't have to go back to that side of the head. It's done. Now, because I'm doing a tutorial video, these things are taking a little bit longer just to show you that. But when I'm back against the wall in the barbershop, I have 10, 12, 13 people waiting on me. Yeah, I get down. Haircuts don't last too much longer over 15 minutes. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's a comfortable pace for me. Like I'll show you on this side what I'm talking about. You seen me, I broke it down on that side. And we can keep on trying to break it down a little bit too, but I'm going to put a little bit more speed on this thing. I put in my initial cut, my initial line. Then now, I'm going to come back Come back with my second line. I'm not perfect, so I can't do nothing perfect here. Look, that's done. Put the guard on. Close it. Go against the grain. Disturb the hair. Look how that hair is flicked up and disturbed. It's disturbed, right? You see it's disturbed. Watch, I don't even have a comb in my hand. I'm gonna prove to you that I rarely use combs. Flick it over. Use your clipper as the comb. These are your steps. This and it works for everyone. Now guess what? That's down. Open it up. Turn it back over. Open it up. Go against the grain again. Same guard all the way around this gentleman's head. Now, it's a few little lines in there, his wave pattern that I want to take out. I'm opening it up. Guess what? I'm coming down with it again. We're going to get as much out of this one as possible. Look at that. Look at that right there. Falling into place. Falling into place. No comb in my hand. And only one guard in my hand. Now we got a few little dark spots through here, through his wave pattern. Same clipper, just using those 3-4 last blades on each one. That's all I'm doing. I ain't doing much. It ain't nothing nobody can't learn, man. If you got the will, there's definitely a way. Because I'm going to teach you the best I can, man. People come to me all the time, man. I've taught many young guys how to cut hair. Started them out. A lot of them didn't even know what this was on the side. I'm like, that's the obvious thing. That's the adjuster.
Oh, you already did?
You can see. So now, here we go. Just going in there, bumping, taking out his wave pattern. Those aren't lines from haircut. These are actual his wave pattern. This was what I was trying to show y'all. When guys got wave, strong, deep wave patterns in his hair, you can't go in there and keep putting lines and cutting that. You have to break that up. And here's what I mean. Like I'll be able to explain it better on bald fades. But you see, that's about 3 minutes on that side of the head. When you watch this video, you do the math yourself and determine how fast you thought I just did that side. And again, we're going to line him up. We're going to come from the middle. Now we're going left to right. But I'm going to roll my clipper right to left. Or left to right. It doesn't matter. However you want to do. However you feel comfortable. Alright? Don't waste nobody's time. Put them in there. Don't burn their skin. Let them go home the way they came in looking. I try my best not to burn nobody. Honestly, man, the last 2 liners I bought, I haven't even used them. You know, they're the same kind as this here. You know, a lot of barbers have 10 clippers on the stand behind them. I don't. I literally use 1 clipper and one liner. And again, here I go again. Let's get back in here. Show you. I take that skin, I pull it forward. See, I already envision my line. I see where I want my line to be. So I envision it, and I go for it. That's what the accuracy is. I'm not cutting no further back into that man's hairline. And I see, I want to bend this thing right here. I want to put that arch right there. Just like that right there. And see here, it's a little stuff in here I want to take out. But I'm not going to put the clipper in there. I'm going to pull the skin down just a smidgen. Get it tight. Because I want that hair to pop. I want it to break. And there you go. Come right here, over the ear. Don't fool with all that stuff much. Like I said again, don't waste your time. This is how you get a 15 and a 20-minute haircut. Think about that. If you're putting heads out 20 minutes in an hour and you charging $20, whatever you charge, they're not. I know it ain't gonna be under 20. I know that. So you're looking at a man that it's easy to average $80 to $100 an hour, because I do the same thing with beards. When I'm cutting a beard, I'm not trying to stay on your beard long for 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't want to. I don't want you in the chair that long. Number 2, I don't even like shaving. I hate shaving people, but guess what? It's part of the job. Everybody got something about their job they don't like doing. But I get the job done in a timely fashion and good. I'm gonna tell you how I was able to learn how to pick my speed up. I used to cut by myself. I've been on the barbershop, man, I've been here, finna go into my 21st year. And I started out when I was 21 years old, right here in this spot. And I just celebrated my 20th anniversary the first Saturday of February. So, man, I'm serious, man. I was in here cutting a lot of times by myself. So I had to go for it. So now we got the cut, we got the fade, we got the blend, everything's in. So now we're going to turn him around, face him into the mirror, and we're going to check his hairline and see if it's even. We can bring this side up just a smidgen. But I'm not going into his hair. Not going in there. Keep it out. Now that we got that there, we check his points. His points are pretty good. All right. Now, like I said, all that wasting time, you can go with the, for nowadays things have changed, so you can go with a chalk stick to accent his line. You can do that. I have that for those that want that. You know, I have hair fibers for those that want that, but I prefer not to do it. And in my tutorial videos, I'm not gonna do that right now until I let you know when I'm gonna do that. So I'm going straight in. We're going straight blade. Now there's ways to make this blade comfortable for you. Here's what I do sometimes. I put my thumb here and I lean the casing of the blade against my thumb and push off of my thumb with this here. And in tight spots like over in the corner, I may take the blade and lay it on his skin, and let me come around there so you can see it. Here's what I do sometimes. I'll take the blade, lay it on his skin, take my thumb, and I will roll my thumb up. See how I'm rolling my hand? You see my hand going up like this? And I'm just putting pressure here. And I'm letting my left hand push the blade, ride the blade. And therefore you get control in the perfect spot to stop at. You won't have to worry about going up into his line. In the same way here on the side. Now here, it's more comfortable for me to place my thumb here and then rock my blade. You see that? I'm using my thumb as a brace and just rocking my blade. And here, pull the skin just a smidget. That's all I'm doing. And again, I'm going back to the 90s and 80s and early 2000s before hair fibers and spray and chalk, when a barber just had to be a barber and know how to get out. See, I draw in people's hair. I was doing all of that. You see how I'm speed? I ain't fooling with this stuff. My thumb pushing it up, my hand pushing it up. We working. We just rocking this thing, punching him out, getting him on out of here. I'm the 15-minute king. That's what I try to do, man. 15 minutes and you out of here. Look at that. Come right down the side of his face. Look at that there. Ah, look at that. That's nice. Take your same clipper. Here's what you always do to every haircut. I learned this at a young age when I first started cutting hair. I worked with one of the best barbers I ever seen in my life. He knew how to manipulate hair, and he taught me. And I started seeing what he meant. Take your clipper. Like, a lot of times, this is a balling clipper. See, there's no adjusting on the side. This is used strictly for balling hair, putting in bald fades and whatnot. You can even use this or your T-liners, which is your shavers, and knock that loose hair off the top. Always come back and knock loose hair off the top. Or you can just simply let go with your clipper. Knock that loose hair off the top. And by doing that, it makes the haircut pop. It gives it a shine. It cuts into the waves, and it actually gives it another pop. You know, it's hard to explain. It cuts, when you cut into the tips of those waves, your hair seems to shine for some reason. And that's that. That's that. Voila. No hair fibers. No hair fibers. And no chalk line. None of that. Just a straight razor. Okay? None of that. I'm keeping all this haircut natural. Another happy customer.